to the Unruly. I have Mr. a book today. It starts for MW. It is a resistance parody and has all of your favorite shitlib characters in it. I do want to give a shout out to Danny Hellman, who did our amazing cover. He put so much thought into it, and it is incredible. You can follow him at Danny Hellman on Twitter. So thanks so much for joining us, Pat. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's been a journey here, Joy. It's been awesome, though. I couldn't be more stoked, and it's been great writing the book with you. And I love that cover. Danny did a great job. He also did some interior graphics, and just shout out. You got to support other progressives, and he does great work. And he could not have worked with us to make a better cover for what we're looking for. So.
Yeah, I'm almost ashamed at what I originally asked him for, because it's like just completely pathetic compared to what he came up with. And he even put your kitty on the cover, Pablo.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that was a total accident. And then we saw the cat and we're like, well, my cat's gray and white. Can we just make the cat gray and white? And there it is. My cat's on the cover of the book. He made it.
He did, and he's a total dick, and he won't care, but it's still the thought that counts. So we've been writing for several months. I hit you up a few months ago and said, hey, this whole Tara Reid thing is really bumming me out. I'm almost ashamed to be a woman. These women are acting absolutely disgusting. And I knew you were writing another book at that time, but I just wanted to kind of plant the seed, like, hey, when you have a chance, do you want to kind of write one together? And you just kind of said, okay, let's talk this weekend. And it just kind of happened organically very quickly. So what was your thought when I hit you up and said, hey, let's write a book together?
Right. Yeah, I mean, initially, a lot of people approached me with projects that never happened. And it was sort of, initially, it was like, well, this is going to be a back burner thing we'll do someday. But then you and I started talking about it, and I'm like, we got to write this now, because this should be out around the convention. And you and I, clicked so well with our sense of humor, and we just worked so well together right off the bat that it was obvious that we can get this done. And then, with the COVID and coronavirus and people being stuck at home, it was the perfect time for you and I to collaborate together. And, we spent damn near every day since we had the idea talking on the phone and working through the book together. So it's been great.
It really has. I've enjoyed it so much. It's stressful, but at the same time, since it's a parody, we've been making each other laugh so much, and it's been so therapeutic. Something that I want to share that's so crazy is that I'm in Pennsylvania and you're in California, and we've never met. So this has been a writing process that has been totally on the phone and through email.
Right. Yeah, and the way the book is structured, it made, you couldn't do this with a 100% plot-driven book, but because it's a panel of people and we had topics, we could break it up and sort of have dialogue back and forth. It worked out really well. And obviously there's lots of subplots in the book. It's not like the book isn't just all dialogue, but the format may lend itself perfectly for you and I working together. And I mean, I think people are going to really laugh and love it. But
I do as well. I'm so excited for people to see it, and to laugh as much as we have, and to have therapeutic release as we have. It
sounds a little naughty there. Sorry.
What's that?
That sounds a little naughty, therapeutic release.
But yeah, this has been the worst day for technical issues. We were just on Humanist Report. It was my fourth time going on. I love Mike so much. And Pat and I were just on Humanist Report sharing our book, and everything like that. So that should be coming out any day. You can follow myself at Savage Joy Marie.1 or Savage Joy Marie 1 on Twitter, and Pat at Pat the Burner and Nate's Liver. A lot of people don't know those are both you, but those are both his Twitter handles. So in any case, before we were cut off, I was sharing that we're like a million miles away. I'm in Pennsylvania and you're in California. But we kind of got into this groove that we kind of were finishing each other's statements, and we've just worked really well together it's been very cohesive and very collaborative effort. Did you think you'd be able to write a book with another person?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I would have hesitated with probably almost anyone else, except, you knew my writing before. I mean, I've been on your show a few times, and I think you knew what you were getting into, and we both just knew once we started talking that we had the same ideas, and you'd bounce something off me and I'd bounce it off you, and then we'd take it to another level, which is kind of what you want. So there was, it wasn't like we were both cutting our material down. We were coming up with new stuff because we worked together. So, I mean, I think it was great. And, I like I said, I'll do another one. It was fun.
Yeah, you're already saying when we were coming up with our website, you're like, let's pick something that we don't need to change it when our next book comes out. And I'm like, holy balls, slow your roll there. But it's been really amazing. And you're relishing in the fact that you can say jokes that are totally sexist and just blame them on me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no world where I on my own can write this book in particular. I mean, it's not a sexist book because, I mean, we're using parody to point out what's wrong about how they're using sexism and racism and, these things, they're weaponizing identity politics is a lot about what the book's about, Karens, the stuff that a lot of Twitter folks already know. But still, if that all came from a male perspective, it's just not quite right in a way. So it was nice that we both and you talked me down from a few ideas I wanted to go with that probably would get me canceled on Twitter. So that's good. Thank you.
It was so hard because we're not offended by anything. Like at all. You and I are just like, yeah, like we don't give a shit. So my husband is our editor and he doesn't know who Nira Tantrum is and Jennifer Poobin and our characters. He has no idea who they are. So that's good because he's reading these things and he's like, what does that mean? So we kind of have that perspective, like, is that too far? But
right.
In actuality, like the majority of what we've written, if people get offended, like they need to look within themselves because we're basically loose quoting a lot of people. And, shit libs, resistance, pussy hat people are offensive. So it's time that somebody just, makes a parody of them who are so inadvertently hilarious as it is, and trying to have something cathartic. This has been very, just very invigorating to be able to laugh at things that we've cried at. We're all in a lot of pain right now with Bernie dropping and Biden and all the shit going on, and to have something, a way to channel that pain and that anger that so many of us are feeling and to turn it into laughter has been so incredible. Do you agree that it's been therapeutic?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's half of what my presence online is. I mean, I'm, we're all progressive, trying to spread progressive ideology and convince people to join our side. this book is making an argument for progressivism. That's a big part of it. But more so than my last book, I think this book is, trying to evoke that cathartic response more than the last one was. Like the last one, it just had a different tone, where this I think so many people are going to relate and see, they know these characters, they watch them on TV, they see them on Twitter. So this is written for Bernie folks, I think, more than my last book was, I would say.
Yeah, I am not trying to sell books when I say I don't think there's a single burner who would not love this book. I've definitely been writing it and my part of it as though, what would I want to read? What would make me laugh? And I just, I picture burners reading this like, oh my God, I remember that, and stuff like that. Do you want to go over some of our characters? We have surprise characters throughout, but a couple of our panelists.
Right. So I actually don't have the list in front of me, but I know we have seven main panelists and 3 moderators, which are Joyanne Greed,
Chris Badviews,
and Soledad O'Lion are the 3 moderators. And then the panelists are, the good panelist is Nina Burner. Once you get past that, that's about it. And you've got a lot of other people like Dinosaur James Scarville. You got Alyssa Shalano. You've got Tom P. Rez. You've got Nancy Pegosi. Who am I missing here? Help me out.
Jennifer Poubin.
And I think we've got
Nira Tantrum.
Obviously Nira Tantrum, right. And then we have some other people that pop in and out for little parts of the book that are surprise appearances we don't really want to get into. But because the thing is so dialogue driven, we wrote in some little events and things, and there is sort of an arc to this story, start to finish, that I think most Burning people will love. But if we tell them any of that part of it, it kind of ruins it. So we're not going to tell you that part of it.
So, Nina Burner was just necessity, to have in there, because we are, making a statement about all of the bullying we've received for 4 years, and the vote shaming and just ridiculous things we've gone through. We touch on everything from being called Russian bots to correct the record, to just anything and everything we've dealt with. But at the same time, and so I totally lost my train of thought. So it's so important that we have Nina Burner in there, because someone needed to be in this book to represent us, not just to tear down people like Mira and Alyssa, but to actually represent us as well. And who better than Nina? So it became so obvious she was the hero. We needed to have her in there to kind of represent us throughout all this bullshit that we've been dealing with for 4 years. Also, you and I made a very conscious effort to not make this about the election. It would have been very easy to do so, but the convention hasn't even happened yet. Who the hell knows if they're going to keep Joe or who's going to win? Who the hell knows? So we kind of steered clear from that. We make a few statements here and there, but it's way more about, what we as burners have gone through, and kind of analyzing in a humorous way just how egregious so many of the libs are.
Right. I think of it as like, this book and my last book, we're making the case for progressivism versus centrism. So we can do that without necessarily focusing entirely on the election. I mean, it's a broader argument than that. So yeah, and we talk, obviously we touch on the gaslighting, the media, Trump is bad, the caucasity of it all. There's a lot of Karens. I mean, obviously we have to get into Karens because you can see Karen on the cover here. But I don't know. There's something I think everyone's going to relate to. That anyone that follows you and I already knows where this book is headed, but they don't know, what's in it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like take our tweets and make them 150 pages. So, who is your favorite character to write?
Yeah, I would have to say, I mean, I've enjoyed Alyssa Shalano because she's of all of them, she has the least grounded argument anytime she speaks. So she's been fun to make more of a cartoon.
It's so easy.
Yeah, she's much more of a cartoon than the other characters are. Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably say Alyssa too, but I mean, I love writing Miss Nina because she's just so incredible. But I like Nancy Pigosi too, just because she's so disgusting, and I love to just rip into her. It's really nice. Plus, I can picture people like cheering. I think there'll be like a lot of people getting excited each chapter, just kind of celebrating that these people are finally getting called out once and for all, with how
hopefully they read it in their voices. I want them to read it in their voices too.
Oh, I know, I sure am. When I'm writing the stuff I'm writing, I'm literally saying it in their voices, and if I can't picture them saying it, I'm not keeping it.
Right.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for you guys to read it. It's so much fun, and we're so proud of it. Again, you can do pre-orders right now on that website. Now, the awesome thing about pre-orders is not just because you'll get the book first when we get them, officially printed and in our hands, but the added bonus is when you go to check out, you're going to be able to select my name or Pat's name and type in what you would like us to sign it as. So after pre-orders, all the books are coming from Pat in California. But with pre-orders, you have the opportunity, if you want myself to sign it, it'll be coming from Pennsylvania. So you get to pick either one of us, whoever you want to sign. Or you could just say, fuck you, and you want neither one of us, which is also okay. And then we'll tell you to eat a bag of dicks, and that'll be your signature. But we'll say thank you.
We'll say that because I can't be sexist that way, which is the beauty of this book. Joy was there to take everything on and say things I couldn't say this book. So all the bad parts in the book that you don't like, that you might think are sexist, Joy wrote.
Yeah. I think that's the only reason he said yes to me was because he's like, oh, I can get away with so much shit. Well, we have had so much fun writing. We're finishing up. We're doing some editing and things like that. So we are too excited to show you guys. Please check out the pre-orders. We are looking at having all of them in hand in August, which by the time this airs is next month. So pre-orders is basically just helping us out so we have the money to print them and pay our amazing artist Danny. So thank you guys so much for watching. Pat, anything you wanna leave with the viewers?
No, I mean, other than I hope you enjoy the book. We'll release snippets here and there, but Thank you again, Danny, for the cover. Thank you, Joy, for doing a wonderful collaboration. Yeah, I hope people like it.
Yeah, right on. And thank you to, Mike Figueredo and Ron Placone and Graham Elwood, and all the people who gave us incredible quotes when we sent them a chapter. It was really awesome to see, comedians and public figures actually believe in what we're doing. So tomorrow, unfortunately, I will be having eye surgery. So I don't know how long I'm going to be on hiatus, but that's one of the reasons this book is so important to me, because I lost the majority of my sight last year, and this showed me that I could still write. I could still do something that I've always wanted to do. So I will be out of commission for at least a little bit, unless I'm going to start rocking an eye patch, which is not likely, just as a heads up. Maybe some people's kink, I don't know, but we'll see if sunglasses covers it and go from there. But thank you so much, Pat. I love you, and I'm so freaking glad that we are doing this, and I'm so excited. So cheers.
Oh, yeah. I forgot, in commemoration of the book, I bought one of my favorite beers, and cheers to Joy across the country, and to everyone who reads it, cheers.
And no mimosas, unfortunately, but this will have to suffice. Thank you guys so much for watching. Much love.